everyone, welcome back to the Drivers Room. We're in the Sunday League again today, Season 5, Round 8 in the final round of Tier 2, racing at Tokyo South Outer Loop in the 2016 Group 3 cars. Let's see how qualifying went today. Sticking it on pole today is Comrade Mitsos. He's our championship leader on 160 points and with an unassailable lead of 40 points over second place with 4 wins and 2 podiums. Mitsos has dominated Season 5 and is the Season 5 Tier 2 champion. Wrapping up the championship, sticking it on pole for the final round of the season. Let's see how he does. Second place on the grid today is Jules. He's 5th in the championship on 81 points. Consistent season for Jules, picking up a solid podium in round 2 and only finishing outside the top 5 once in 6 races. A good qualifying performance today to wrap up Season 5. Let's see how he does. Third place on the grid today is John William Egan. He's 3rd in the championship overall on 113 points. Good season for John, picking up a string of top 5s, capped with a win in round 5. So has cemented his 3rd spot in the championship. See how he does from 3rd today. 4th place on the grid is Canny. He's 8th in the championship on 66 points. Having missed round 1, Canny built up his form with an excellent podium in round 4. Slight dip in form after that, but is picking up the pace again with a good top 5 finish in the last round. See how he does from 4th today. 5th place on the grid today is Speed 140, 2nd in the championship on 120 points. Outstanding season for Speed with 3 podiums and a race win in round 4. Looks to be a safe bet to finish 2nd in the championship this season. 6th place on the grid today, Nightmare Racer, 10th in the championship on 51 points. Pretty decent opening 5 races for Nightmare, but has been absent from Drsl in the last 2 rounds, so all points scored today will count towards his total. Needs 14 points overall to overhaul Boss in 9th place in the championship. 7th place on the grid today is Murkoff. He's 6th in the championship on 79 points. Another driver barely finishing outside the top 5 and only 2 points off of Jules in 5th place, but only 9 ahead of Jamie in 7th place. So very close season-long battle in the midfield. Let's see how he does from 7th place today. 8th on the grid today is Jason. He's 11th in the championship on 42 points. Has missed 2 rounds so far this season, so again all points scored today will count towards his season total. Picked up a brilliant podium in round 3. Struggled to match that form in the remaining races, but solid result today. Let's see him move up the table. Qualifying 9th today is Ivano. He's 18th in the championship on 9 points, having made his first appearance in the Sunday League in the last round, picking up 9th place out of 14 runners, so not a bad debut. So yeah, starting from 9th today, see how he gets on. 10th place on the grid today is Walco, 4th in the championship on 102 points and has done enough to cement that 4th place in the championship. He would need a podium and John William Egan to finish outside the top 10 if he was to grab 3rd place. 11th place on the grid today is Ricky J, 15th in the table on 21 points with just 4 appearances so far this season and hasn't managed to break into the top 10 yet, finishing 11th in 2 of those races. Starting 11th today, see if he can break into the top 10 in the final race of the season. 12th place on the grid today is Jamie D, 7th in the table on 70 points. Good consistent season for Jamie so far, but I feel with Canny qualifying well today, Jamie needs a good finish to protect his championship position. Only 4 points above Canny at the moment. 13th on the grid today is Craig. He's 12th in the championship on 27 points. Hasn't made an appearance in the Sunday League since round 4. His best result of those being a solid top 10 in round 3. Sits 1 point above Munro in the championship at the moment, who is also starting a couple of grid slots back. 14th place on the grid today, Scary Guy for You. 17th in the championship on 10 points with only 2 appearances made for this wildcard entry this season. Made an appearance in the opening round and again in round 7. Starting from 14th today, he's got a lot to do. We'll see how he gets on. 15th on the grid today is Munro. He's 13th in the table at the moment with 26 points. As mentioned, 1 point behind Craig and also 1 point above Cafe Del Mar, who isn't racing today, so at the very least has cemented that 13th in the championship. And in 16th place today we have Kamaru. He's 16th in the table on 11 points, having only made 2 appearances this season, being a wildcard entry. Starting at the back today, don't think he took part in qualifying, like a few drivers, just taking a little bit of a step back from GT Sport at the moment. But that was our grid walk for the final race, Season 5 Tier 2 Sunday League. Let's get underway. Right, so here we are, the Drivers' Room Sunday League Season 5 Round 8 Tier 2, Tokyo South Avenue. Comrade Mitsos sticking it on pole for the final round of the season, and we'll see how things get underway. And that is, I'd say that's a full start. It looks like I think that's John William Egan's AFK on the grid. A few cars have ploughed into the back of him, and that's a sign that Jules has taken the lead. Really good launch from Jules. He takes the lead into the first corner. We'll go back and check that start in a minute, and that looks like Kenny squeezing Mitsos into the wall in the first corner, and that also looks like Kenny just yielding there and letting Mitsos back pass. A little bit untidy in the first corner, everyone getting bunched up, and another run through the ridge. Ricky J in 5th, Wilco in 6th, Merck in 7th, Craig up to 8th, Jamie D in 9th, Jason in 10th, Kamaru 11th, Scary Guy in 12th, Arno 13th, Speed 140 in 14th, and John William Egan still AFK and just rolling down the road. Let's take a look back at that start. So we are going to take a look back at this start from, this is on board with Murkoff. You've got Speed 140 up ahead, directly ahead in grid spot 5, and obviously John William Egan ahead of that, and I don't think Speed 140 gets out of the way at the time. There's a few cars getting caught out there, and you look behind, I think Speed 140 basically falling right to the back of that pack as well. Yeah, few drivers getting caught out there. Very unfortunate incident there. Could very well be a controller disconnect or something along those lines, I don't know, but also we've had Munro disconnect from the back of the grid before lights out, so that's a shame for Munro, last race of the season. But as we rejoin the race again now, so Kenny recovering in 3rd after a bit of contact. We've always made a bit of contact with a hairpin there as well, and Nightmare just giving him a tap in the back. That's another guy sliding, running deep in the hairpin by the sounds of it. Those cars getting through cleanly there, but yeah, Kenny just I think making contact with the inside of the hairpin, sliding him down, and Nightmare Racer moving himself up to 3rd place. Kenny still losing speed through the tunnels. He's getting swamped a little bit as Ricky J makes his way past, and a little bit further up. So yeah, Jules pulled a really good gap to Comrade Mitsos here. Nightmare Racer, as I say, running in 3rd place. As we come through and over, there's a big chunk of sausage there from Jules. Oh, it's a bit of contact with the wall there with Comrade Mitsos. He spins the car around. Nightmare Racer moves up to 2nd place. Comrade Mitsos recovering with that front damage and affecting the racing line with a few drivers behind there. So he's running a lot slower, but yeah, big mistake there from Mitsos. He's dropped back to 6th place now. A very eventful opening lap to this final race of Season 5, as that is Merck and Kenny, I think, running side by side in turn 1. Ricky J, oh, it sounded like someone clattered the barrier in the background there. As Ricky J up into 3rd, as Kenny and Merck are still running by side. Kenny just getting himself in front. Excuse me, the long run down to the hairpin. So we'll have a run through the grid. So Jules getting away cleanly in 1st place. Nightmare Race up into 2nd place. There's a lot of cars running deep through the hairpin again there, as Ricky J was ahead of this group, and now is Jason having a spin on the exit of the hairpin as well. Yeah, Ricky J was running in 3rd place, and through the hairpin coming together somewhere again. Comrade Mitsos up to 5th place. Ricky J falling back to Merck up to 4th. Kenny up to 3rd place. Clean air now. Try and get on with the job. So yeah, very eventful opening lap, and yeah, quick run through the grid proper now. So Jules in 1st place, coming through the very difficult chicane. Nightmare Racer was 2nd, absolutely chucking it through there. Kenny in 3rd, Merck in 4th, Comrade Mitsos closely following in 5th, avoiding the barrier that time round. Ricky J in 6th place, Wilco up into 7th place. Craig up into 8th, so Wilco up from 10th place on the grid, Craig up from 13th on the grid. Very good opening lap as he takes a look at Wilco here. May well move himself up into 7 yet. Carling ahead. The end of lap 2. Start lap 3. Craig up into 7th place. Ricky in 6th. Craig in 7th. Wilco in 8th now. As we've got another group of cars battling behind us. A Scary Guy and Jammy running side by side through these S's. And looks like the Scary Guy has done enough to slot himself ahead, but again is going to be under threat after this long straight into the main heavy braking section of this track. We've got Kamaru up from the back of the grid into 11th place now, as he smoothly takes it round inside of the hairpin there. I think that is Jammy had a good exit as well, so you've got Jammy and Kamaru running side by side through these flat out tunnels. There should be enough space for these two cars to go flat out up until about here. You've got very, very fast left and right. So great driving from the pair there, but Jamie D up to the Scary Guy losing a little bit of pace through the tunnel. Jamie D moving himself up into 9th place, Scary down to 10th. Maru still in 11th. Speed 140 recovering now in 12th after getting caught out, but contact there between those two drivers on the entry of the chicane. I should say done really well to hold that. Speed 140 just losing out and lighting the back end up on the exit. So Jason just about getting away with that. Ivano in 12th, under pressure from Jason now. Jason needs to move up into 12th place. Ivano does have the inside line. Just noticed as well, Ivano in the racing hard tyre. So looking to go long on this first stint. A very rarely seen tyre in the Sunday League, especially when all racing options are available. And a little bit further up, we've got a bit of a battle developing between Mitsos, Canny and Murkoff. So we've missed a bit of action there, but Mitsos has moved himself up into 4th place. Again, he looks to recover after a slow getaway off the line. A little bit of contact between himself and Canny into turn 1. So Murkoff all over the back of him at the moment. Mitsos really needs that toe ahead. He's going to protect his 4th place for the moment. As all 3 cars pretty much run nose to tail as we come up to the chicane for the full time of asking. All drivers through pretty cleanly, so keep an eye on this fight at the moment. Keep an eye on this fight later, but Jules out in the lead doing as much as he can do out in the lead. He's got some good clean air, can just concentrate, get on with the job now as he does. Look to build a gap to Nightmare Racer in second. Nightmare Racer was quicker on that last lap, personal best 1 minute 33.6, and has pulled around a second to this fight behind, as Canny still holding on to that 3rd place ahead of Mitsos behind. Merck in 5th. Craig running in 6th place. Wilco 7th, Jamie D in 8th. In 9th, under pressure from Kamaru, up to 10th place now. So he keeps making steady progress through the field. It was a full grid at the start of this race, full grid of 16 runners. I'd say Munro unfortunately getting disconnected before lights out. And Sir John William Egan, who is up and running now in 15th place, having either controller issues or something else, but yeah, unfortunate for John in the last race of the season. Not how you really want to end it, but this does allow Wilco's in 8th place at the moment, so Wilco 4th in the championship. See if you can make any ground. I do think Wilco will need a podium to. Oh, Canny gets it all sorts of wrong through the chicane there, plants it into the barrier, and this was, I think it's Craig coming through. Canny with engine damage as well. He's going to be under a lot of pressure now as Jamie D coming through at full speed. You've got a whole gaggle of cars there, so Canny still with that engine damage getting absolutely swallowed up by the grid, by the pack now. Ricky J coming through also into Canny down to 10th place from 3rd on the 3rd. And Mitsos is released into third place now. Let's see if he can catch Nightmare Racer up ahead. Let's see if Murkoff can stay in touching distance with Mitsos to get dragged down the road as well. Yeah, very, very eventful start to the race. A little bit of field spread here at the back. Kamaru up into 7th place now, so we have had some quite a bit of action in this midfield pack as well. Craig leading this fight in 5th place. There's a bit of a gap up to Murkoff ahead. Yeah, outstanding opening stint from Craig here. He's kept it out of trouble, and 1:34.5 on that last lap. Starting to build up some consistent pace, and a little bit further ahead got Nightmare Racer coming up to the chicane on lap 6. And absolutely chucks it over the curbs, and the car is not having any of it that time around. And yeah, huge incident there from Nightmare Racer, running in 2nd place. He's recovered in 4th now, hasn't got engine damage, so he can get back up to speed. But yeah, not what he needed, obviously. Was running well up until that point. Still in a good position nevertheless, needs to get his head down and try and brush that off. But this chicane here is absolutely lethal. And I'm sure Craig in 5th place has just noticed that delta. Nightmare, you can see Nightmare Racer down the road now, so he is in touching distance with 4th place. Jamie D and Kamaru for company. Kenny a little bit further back in 8th, just dropping off of that pack a little bit now. Wilco in 9th, still holding off Ricky J in 10th. Varno in 11th, still going well on the racing hards, 1:36.3 on the last lap. A little bit quicker than Scary Guy, who's just starting to get a bit of tired there, got on those super softs. You got speed 140, recovering still in 13th. John William Egan in 14th. So just hitting 10-minute mark. I think that's Jamie pitting a little bit further back. Sorry for the dodgy camera work, but yeah, Jamie D pitting and rejoining the race in 10th place. So again, strategies maybe splitting between a 1 and 2 stop today. Jamie looks set to be seeing out a 2 stop here though. Not taking on any fuel, I don't think. So yeah, Jamie definitely on for a 2 stopper today. So rejoining the race in 10th, we'll see how that pans out. And now back with the leader of the race, 1:33.8 for Jules. 1:34.8, so a second slow, 1:33 flat from Mitsos and a 1:33.1, so really starting to put the pressure on Jules in P1 now. Yeah, he just starts to close that gap a little bit. Murkoff just losing touch with Mitsos ahead. Not surprisingly, as Mitsos is just starting to pump in some really good lap times. The Nightmare Racer still recovering in 4th, and probably struggling to get back up to speed properly, as obviously a huge incident like that can really knock you out of your groove. And yeah, Craig's just set his personal best, 1:34.5 on that last lap, so definitely feeling racy today. And still got Kamaru in touching distance, as Jamie D was ahead of Kamaru as pitted. And Kenny 1:34 flat, that's better for Kenny as he gets himself back up to speed now to get back on the end of this fight ahead. A little bit further back we've got Wilco, still ahead of Ricky J, just managing that gap between 8th and 9th. Jamie D out in 10th, see what sort of lap times he can do on the fresh rubber. Varnu's still running solidly in 11th. Speed 140, finding a little bit more pace now. Looks like I think most of these guys will be looking to stretch this out to the 15-minute mark now, and that may well be a retirement from John. Unfortunate start there. Really shook the race up, to be fair, and this man here benefiting the most. Jules leading the way. 1:34.4 and a 1:33.2, so another second taken out of the lead there from Mitsos in 2nd place. As putting in some very, very consistent lap times now. Merck doing a solid job. Bit of a lonely race now for Merck in 3rd, but I'm sure he'll definitely take that track position. Just needs to keep his head down, put in some consistent laps, Nightmare Racer looks to have got himself back up to speed a little bit. As, I think he's pulled a tiny bit of a gap to Craig in 5th. Craig's starting to come under pressure from Kamaru in 6th now. Again, mentioned both of these drivers starting towards the end, the back of the grid. Craig in 13th and Kamaru right at the back in 16th. Running 5th and 6th respectively now. As Kenny pits, so just before the 15-minute mark there. So Wilco under pressure from Jamie D. So Jamie D ahead of Ricky J. Missed an overtake there from Jamie. That is running in 8th place now. Ricky in 9th. See if Jamie can make a move on Wilco up ahead. As Ricky J's got a good toe here through the tunnel. So you've got to be very, very careful. This car is starting to top out 160 mile an hour. Jamie all over the back of Wilco here. He's just trying to find a way round. Obviously he's out on that fresh rubber. Wilco really, really warm tyres now as well. We'll see how we get on through the chicane with these three. I think the chicane claiming more. Oh, as Ricky J, yes, as I say it, Ricky loses the back end. And this does allow Jamie no pressure from right now. We can just get on with trying to get past Wilco. So I think this will be an overtake here, just about giving each other enough space. Jamie has the inside. Imagine a fresher rubber should take him around this corner a little bit quicker, but Wilco really does well there. Hangs it around the outside on the warm rubber. Oh, and it just understeers into Jamie there. And yeah, I think he yielded that anyway. It's unfortunate. Jamie was just on the wrong part of track and on the outside of a corner of a very understeery BMW. But not too much damage there. Jamie can get on with it now and see how he does. We've got a couple of pit stops up ahead to Kamaru, Murkoff and Craig. And Wilco losing the back end of the exit of the hairpin. There's Jamie D up into 4th place now with the undercut. Does have to stop again, but he's in clean air now. Needs to pump into good laps and see where he feeds back into things when he makes his next stop. So Murkoff rejoins the race in 5th place, just ahead of Wilco, so that is pretty crucial for Murkoff. He can get on with the job again. Wilco running wide through the tunnel, so just losing a bit of downforce in the wake of the car in front. Just past the halfway mark now. So Craig rejoining in. Pretend we didn't see that. Craig rejoining in 7th, but does have a recovering Wilco now. So a big incident from Wilco, and no engine damage, but he's nowhere near up to speed and does get overtaken by 3 cars there. And got fast approaching Kenny now out on the fresh rubber. Varno still going long on the racing hards, and we've got Jules picking from the lead now. We'll see if. Yeah, that's Mitsos following suit as well. So Nightmare Racer coming around in 3rd place. And obviously Craig was quite close to him before the pit stops. There's definitely a pit entry line there. So Jamie D coming around in 4th. So Jamie D looks like he's going to get an undercut on Nightmare here as well. As a 24% of fuel, so he's going to have to take a little bit of fuel on. And yeah, Jamie just comes past the pit exit now and up to 3rd place. So he does have to stop again, but he's in a really good position here. Murkoff also should be able to stretch this out to the end of the race, so Murkoff on for a potential podium finish here with Jamie up ahead having to pit. Yeah, Craig and Kamaru both come through 5th, 6th. Ricky on the racing hards as well. I didn't notice that earlier, so Ricky running well, getting some good speed out of those hards. And Nightmare Racer rejoins in 8th place. Right in the midst of battles as well, not what he really needed. He's got Wilco behind, I'd imagine will be pitting at the end of this lap, and yeah, Kenny out on fresh rubber, itching to get past Wilco at this stage of the race. All neat and tidy through the chicanes. The chicanes definitely claim more victims than the chicane of death at the seaside. Previous Sunday League race commentated on a few rounds ago, as we are getting blue flags up ahead, but Nightmare Racer just positioning himself to make a move on Ricky J here into turn 1. Again, Ricky doing well, holding around the outside, and Nightmare just needs to steer clear of any understeering cars on the inside of that corner, but yeah, gets the job done, moves himself up into 7th place now. See what Ricky J can do on these slightly worn hards. It's Kenny coming through on the fresher super softs, looking to get a move done into the hairpin. It goes deep, he's around the outside and cuts back really well. That's a good exit as well, so that's should be a comfortable move up into 8th place. And looking to put Nightmare Racer under pressure. Nightmare Racer needs to get some good laps in now. Slight tyre advantage over the car behind. Can he fully up to speed now? As he does take a look through the tunnel actually, and the overspeed carrying him through there, cleanly through. So he gets a car length ahead. Nightmare Racer just slots back in again, and he's not close enough to make a move into this 90-degree curving right-hander. It's not really an overtaking corner to be fair, but again we'll keep an eye on this through the chicane, and then we'll have another run through the grid. Candy 7th, Nightmare in 8th, and Ricky J in 9th on the hard. So Wilco running in 10th, back really long on these softs. He's going to be quick at the end of this race, but I think he's suffering quite a bit on lap time at the moment. Speed 140 running in 11th now. Ivano in 12th, has just bid for another set of racing hards and feels pretty comfortable on those hards. 1 minute 35.5, not a bad time at all on that compound. Scary curfew, looking a bit twitchy through the tunnel there, and running in 30th at the moment. John William retired in the pits in 14th. So we're at a 20-minute mark. Go through, and we have missed, while we was looking further back, these two guys have been jostling for position, so I'm sure Craig was in front of this fight a minute ago, but these two have been running really close for most of the race. We keep an eye on this now as Craig has the tow coming out the exit of the tunnel, as he does take a look at the inside. So there's not the best of overtaking opportunities, but Kamaru giving him plenty of space there. There's a little bit of a door up on the way through. That is Craig up into 5th place, and this battle I'm sure will be carrying on for a few more laps yet. So nice and tidy over the chicane there. Nightmare Racing behind, just caught in the background, absolutely chucking it over the sausages again. Let's see if Kamaru can fight back into turn 1. Takes a little bit of a look up the inside. Yep, he's positioning his car for the overtake here. Craig just choosing to slot in behind for the moment. So Kamaru back up into 5th place, Craig in 6th. So we've got Jules in 1st place, 32.3 for Jules on that opening flying lap, 32.8. Did pull half a second to mix us on that last lap. We've got Jamie D pitting finally from 3rd place. Only man on a 2-stopper today. Out of all these front runners, and he's just dropping down the grid now. See where he rejoins. He's coming out the pits now in 8th place, cleanly in 8th. Speed 140, just coming around the hairpin now. Yeah, so Jamie D safely in 8th place, good to the end of the race now with a very quick car, but has a lot to do. He's got quite a gap up to Nightmare Racer in 7th, and yeah, only 7.5 minutes of this race left to go. We have missed an instant at the front. We're going to take a look back, but I've just seen the graphic switch between Jules, and Jules running with front and rear damage. Yeah, let's take a look back at that one. So just joining the race with our race leader Jules a little bit further back. It's coming towards the end of lap 14. And the car ahead, scary guy for you, just getting some blue flags at the moment to come up to the awkward chicane, and I think there is a coming together as yes, the scary guy has a poor exit out the chicane and a little bit of confusion, and Jules ploughs into the back of scary guy. Mitsos hits the back of Jules, immediately gives that a spot back. Really good fair play from Mitsos there. There's no driver really at fault there. Obviously Mitsos not meaning to plough into the back of Jules. Jules with twitchy BMW for a couple of corners, and he's got severe damage to deal with for a little while until that dissipates. But yeah, huge incident at the front of the race there, and both drivers getting caught out by a back marker, and yeah, it's thrown may well have knocked Jules out of his rhythm, going really well, having set a personal best on lap 13. And I think Mitsos has gained around a second in all that. As I say, well with his rights to go through, I feel. But yeah, good sporting fair play. He continues this battle again. So less than 7 minutes left to go of this race, and see what Mitsos can do from second place. But say Murkoff running in a solid third place. As mentioned earlier, looked like he was on for a podium running behind Jamie. Jamie obviously having now pitted. Murkoff is in very clean air in third place. A very quick car in Kamaru and Craig behind, but I think these two are going to be busy battling for the remainder of this race, as coming up to Scary Guy a few at a very similar part of the track. The exit of the chicane as a Scary Guy just moving to the right hand side, getting well out of the way, and coming through. Craig close in tow again. I think these two guys pretty much the closest on track at the moment. Craig just sitting in the tow, not quite close enough into turn one. Canny recovered well, back into 6th place now. A few incidents today, as well as Nightmare Races running 7th, looking to put Canny under pressure for the remainder of the race. Jamie D in 8th, just out of touching distance from 7th place Nightmare Racer at the moment. I think he might just be running out of laps now. Ricky J in 9th, Speed 140 in 10th, Wilco in 11th, Ryan 12th, Scary Guy in 13th. Back to this fight for 4th and 5th. So we come through the tunnels again, and Craig is right up the gearbox, and he's got nowhere else to go. The overspeed just has the two cars overlapping a little bit there. Again, his car gets really twitchy through that high speed section. Doing well just to keep that pinned and up to speed. But Kamaru holding on to 4th place for the moment. As he runs deep into that corner, I think Craig pretty much followed suit there. Is Craig going to take a look into the chicane? That's a bold move there. Kamaru nearly losing the back end there. Was yeah, brave move, chucking it up the inside of the chicane there. And, Kamaru giving enough respect to both drivers, giving each other enough space there to avoid a major incident. Kamaru losing a little bit on the exit of the corner though. I know this has allowed Nightmare Racer back into this fight. Less than 5 minutes left to go now, and we have missed an overtake for the lead of the race. Let's take a look back. So yeah, while we was watching the battle between Craig and Kamaru, Comrade Mitsos really starting to crank up the pressure on Jules in 1st place now, and as close as he ever has been during this race. As they come through the tunnel, I think Jules just rubbed the wall a little bit on the way through and lost a bit of speed, but that did allow Comrade Mitsos through and up into 1st place. Slightly better tyre wear for Mitsos this stage of the race as well. Jules needs to do the same, just stay in the tow and try and put the pressure on Mitsos, but he's had a poor chicane, he's really dropped back. I think Mitsos has broken the toe already, although Mitsos looks like he's had an untidy exit out of the final corner. We'll see what Jules can do, but he really needs to get on that toe and put him under pressure as soon as possible. Murkoff still having a very lonely race in 3rd, and not that far behind the top 2 either. Really consistent lap times from Murkoff, quietly getting on with the job. And any mistakes from the top 2, and Murkoff will be there to take advantage. Craig still running in 4th place ahead of Kamaru. after that overtake through the chicane. Kamaru settling in 5th at the moment. Similar gaps between those guys. Kenny is still in 7th, 38.1 for Kenny on that last lap. So he's had a bit of an untidy one. Jamie D still running in 8th, so I think, yeah, Kenny's had a major incident somewhere. He's lost a big chunk of time. He was running in front of Nightmare, I think. But anyway, this has allowed Jamie D on the fresher rubber to... he's got Kenny in his sights now. So he may well be looking to make a move before this race is done. Ricky J, clean air front and back in 9th place. Looks like Wilco doing enough at the moment to really severe tyre wear, the speed 140. I think he's just looking to bring this car home now. Fresher racing hards for Rano still. In 13th. Back with the leader of the race, who is now Comrade Mitsos. It's taken a while to get there. So Jules has had a very consistent race. So I think the crash with the back marker just threw him a little bit, and hasn't really been able to pin down the pace needed to keep Comrade Mitsos at bay. And as I say, Murkoff still running well in first. So Jules at 1:34.4 that last lap, 1:34.2 from Murkoff, a little bit quicker, but I think he will need a mistake from one of the two cars up front if he's going to make any more ground today. But he's got to be happy with what is at the moment a podium drive. Craig runs really deep through the hairpin, and that has allowed Kamaru through. It might well give Nightmare Racer a look as well. So Kamaru up into 4th place, Craig back down to 5th. Nightmare Racer still close behind in 6th, but just not close enough to make a move on either two drivers yet. But it could very well be in a good position soon, as he's practically getting a double toe through the tunnel. He just needs to keep it tidy, as he does take a look at Craig before this right-hander. Just backs out of it again, because it's not really a corner you want to be running side by side through. Sound like Kamaru understeered a little bit, but has held that pretty well through the chicane. All neat and tidy, but yeah, Nightmare Racer really badgering Craig now. They come onto the main straight in the lap 18. Nightmare Racer pulls out. So who's going to benefit from the toe up ahead? Nightmare Racer has the inside, but we've seen so many cars just hang it round the outside like we have done again, as Craig holds on to 5th place. Positioning his car really well through the hours. Contact with the wall on the exit, and yeah, he's just lost too much speed there. Nightmare Racer says thank you very much, comes through and takes what is 5th place for now. Kamaru up ahead in 4th, a little bit deep into the hairpin. Looks like he's going to get a good exit though. There's a little bit of a wiggle from Nightmare Racer on the exit as the rear tyres really starting to go now. Craig with a little bit worse tyre wear at this stage of the race. It's only 10 seconds of the race left to go. We'll see where the leader is, as we do obviously want to catch the race winner crossing the line and taking the checkered flag. And it looks like today, it just keeps it neat and tidy through the chicane, which he has done. Comrade Mitsos looks like he's going to wrap up this very dominant Season 5 with another race win. So yeah, congratulations Mitsos, really good drive there, taking the checkered flag in 1st place. Unlucky to Jules, but a very, very good result nevertheless in 2nd, and Murkoff as well, solid drive to bring home final podium spot in 3rd. It looks like Kamaru has done enough to stay ahead of this battle behind, bring the car home in 4th place, very closely followed by Nightmare Racer in the end in 5th. Craig unfortunately in 6th in that battle. Good result nevertheless. Jamie D home in 7th, so looks like we've got the job done on Canny somewhere, and Canny bringing the car home in 8th. We've got Ricky J in 9th, Wilco in 10th, Ivano in 11th, Speed 140 in 12th, Scary Guy Fury 2 in 13th, and John William Egan in 14th. But that was the Drivers' Room Sunday League Season 5 Round 8 final race of the season. Another cracker. Thanks to everyone for taking part. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next week.